Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Somos Mas, the official podcast of Somos Mas NM, and your source for the latest news and notes on New Mexico United and the New Mexico Runners. My name, of course, is Seth Bidoff, and as you can see, I am all alone. I can tell you for a fact there will be no Earl tonight, more than likely. We've asked Harry if he can pop on. Harry is busy doing dad Uber duty, and Jacob is busy dealing with some kids as well. Christina will be joining us here momentarily, and we will get into everything going over New Mexico United, the USL Championship, and the potential playoff picture going forward. So, Justin, I saw you over in the chat. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well this evening. Christian, how you doing, buddy? Glad to have you in here. Solo for now. That is very sure. That's a sure thing. Solo for now, but I saw you over there, so appreciate you guys being here. Jacob sent us some show notes. I don't know if Jacob will be joining us here. Like I said, he may be with us, he may not. We don't know. We'll see. But first of all, I want to talk about, and yes, I am going to vamp to try to buy some time. How about the Lobos? Right? Let's talk about the Lobos for a minute. This is the first thing I can remember because, to be honest with you, I never paid much attention to the Lobos outside of even living right here by the stadium for as long as I have. 3 wins in a row for the Lobo football team. Coach Bronco Mendenhall got this team looking potentially like, bowl eligibility is on the horizon. 3 straight wins, including a comeback this past weekend, 3 straight games in which they've dropped 50 or more points. I believe the stats said that it's the first time they've done that since at least 2016. I believe. I know that it was at least 2016 when 2 weeks ago, last week when they did it twice in a row. So big time week for the Lobos over there. Lobo athletics, many of the seasons are already in full swing. You've got, women's golf that just ended, soccer's going on, men's golf is still going. You got swimming that just started up, track and field, cross country, all in the hunt for some titles and picking up some hardware, some Mountain Western recognition. So congrats to the Lobos on all of that. Bronco, I mean, that's the thing about Bronco Mendenhall. Like, he really seems to be getting a lot out of these players. And when you look at, just the way that they've played so far this season, I mean, you hang in there with, some of the, with some really tough teams, the Lobos, they hung in there with Montana State. Probably should have won that Montana State game. Hung in there with Arizona, dropped 39 points on Arizona. Hung in there early with Auburn. Probably could have beat Fresno State too, but again, you got 50 points against State, you got 52 against Air Force and 50 against Utah State. I mean, look at what they've got coming up here: Colorado State, Wyoming, San Diego State. Some really interesting games coming up for the Lobos. I think there's an outside chance of them getting bowl eligibility here in Broncos' first season, which would be just a tremendous feat for the Lobos. So, but I think, are we good? I think we're good. Okay. Wanted to make sure. There's Christina. How are you this evening, Christina? How was your weekend? How are things? Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, we're working on it, folks. Don't everybody watch her. Don't make her nervous. That's, what? That's not a bad idea. We need to get some entrance music for Christina. Every time she pops in, we'll just, we'll play a sound and, oh, you know what? I think I got something. I got something for that. Where is it?
It's Freighter! It's Freighter! It's Freighter!
I think that's what we'll do every time Christina pops in. Try disconnecting and reconnecting. Yeah. So maybe that's what we do whenever Christina joins the show. Uh, we'll get that going. But yeah, big weekend for the Lobos. Great win for them. Also, if you're a Cowboys fan, I'm sure you are happy to not be playing this weekend. If you're a Cowboys fan and you're in the chat, I'm curious. I'd be curious to see what your take on Jerry Jones's comments over the past couple weeks are. But all right, Christina is back. Let's see if we're working.
Can you hear me?
Hey, there we go.
Yay!
Perfect. So welcome in. Glad you could join me this evening. How is your weekend? How are
course.
you doing?
Good. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Tired but happy. Weekend was good. It was uneventful. Kind of nice that it was a later evening game on Saturday.
Mhm.
So I definitely enjoyed that. Yeah, pretty much just uneventful.
Okay. All right. Well, sometimes you need that after spending time away from home like you've had. You mentioned last week, for a 7-day trip, you need 7 days to prepare, 7 days to recover. So are you back in the swing of things now? Are you good? Are you
Back
good?
into the swing of things. Yep. Hit the
Okay.
ground running.
Well, that's the way to do it. Anytime you come back, it's always a struggle to get back into it. But two teams that really, let's just flat out say it. Two teams that I can't say that they struggled to get into it on Saturday. They struggled to make anything of it. New Mexico United and Orange County SC, final road trip of the season for New Mexico United, 0-0 draw, which is
You
absolutely.
jinxed it, Seth. You jinxed it.
I really did. Like, and I've said it before. It's the worst thing in the world to try to write about, because
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone went and read my recap over on 1017theteam.com, but they shot, they got blocked, saved, whatever. That's it. A couple shots.
Well, and I think it wasn't very many shots.
No.
You can count it on one hand. So you couldn't even talk about the shots. You're you're limited.
Especially the ones that threatened the goal. It's like, we might have maybe had someone make a save on one of them there. So but yeah, no, it really is. And don't get me wrong, I've certainly seen some entertaining 0-0 draws, where you have keepers that are having to make fantastic saves, where you see great plays to open up opportunities that just don't get made anything out of. But in this one, there really wasn't a whole lot of anything to go off of. And I saw some people on social media, and I was kind of reading through their reactions. What did you see specifically on social media after this one, and what's your takeaway from how the fans reacted to a 0-0?
I saw the same mixed bag. There's a few outliers of people saying we don't look like a first place team, or whoa, like, oh no, playoff time, I'm really concerned. And then other people are saying we already secured the number one spot. We don't want injuries. We came away with the tie. We traveled. We got our point. Like, we also have a lot of guys out on injury. So I feel like for the most part, people are pretty understanding. I think the agreement was it was a pretty boring match. Glad nobody got hurt. Happy we walked away with a point. I don't know that it's a ton of momentum going into the playoff per se, but it also feels like Quill's having to go through quite a bit of squad rotation. So people are talking about that too.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. When you look at the squad that played on Saturday, obviously Hursty played a ton of minutes. Brucey got I won't say I guess you could say significant, but he certainly, Brucey obviously didn't start. You've got Akale getting a lot of minutes. There really wasn't a whole lot here that I saw that made me go, why are they playing? Now, I mean, Jackson Dubois gets to start. And so significant minutes for him. And one of it is, I believe this is his third professional appearance of the season. But other than that, we really didn't see a whole lot of rotation. I mean, do you think that we see anything? I mean, we'll talk about here in a little bit, but is this kind of what you expected? Did you expect to see more? Maybe, Abu Danladi getting a few minutes, maybe, Abdi coming back for a few minutes just to get a little bit of match fitness. What did you expect coming into this, and how did it live up to what you thought would happen?
I feel like the lineup was exactly what I expected. Wasn't surprised. Happy to see Dubois getting the start, which is pretty cool. Happy that he got a full 80 minutes. I feel like he showed a lot of potential. I agree. I would have liked to have seen Mohamed get at least a little bit of some time in to just get back on his feet. But it also feels like the bench is kind of hurting a little bit right now. I
Yeah,
was
no, it
not
definitely
surprised to not see
is.
Dunladi
Mhm.
on the. I think he's just done for this season.
Probably. I mean, the odds of him showing up next week against Memphis are slim to none. And even if he is in the 18, I mean, it's not going to matter because he's not going to be postseason eligible. Jackson Dubois, getting the start, he's not postseason eligible, unfortunately. But Marlon Vargas did make his 5th appearance of the season, so he is now eligible for the playoffs, which is a good thing for us. But yeah, I mean, it's you see some guys out there getting a little bit of run. Great, play there by Zico Bailey. Glad to see Zico back in this match. Oh my gosh, after Zico coming off of his first international goal, getting a chance to play and getting some run. So glad to see Zico here getting some play in, because it really is such a difference maker. And I will say, we look far. I would say we look better once Zico came in.
Oh yeah, poor Dubois. He got megged twice in that game.
Yeah, he did. He picked up a really
I felt for
stupid yellow
him
too. Yeah.
That was kind of a nasty slide. Stupid
Yeah.
yellow. But at the same time, really exciting for him to get the start, and he's got to get the experience, right? Hopefully he's learned to kind of adjust his footing a little bit, so he's not so susceptible to those megs.
Yeah, that one. That's the one, especially. I think it was right there in the highlight package. It was glaring.
Yeah,
it was like, oh, what happened? It was just like, oh, there it goes.
But I do agree with you. I feel like Zico definitely injected some energy into it. Happy to have him back for sure. I think Akale again was a workhorse. He really stood out to me. It's our offense. Like, we need goals.
That we do. Hi, Jane. How are you? Welcome on in. And yeah, that was something that we certainly saw here in this match. Is we had the opportunity right here. Great timing on this. Looked like a clear goal. Looked like a phenomenal cross from
it was a
Jacobo
pretty
Reyes.
play.
It really was, and I heard. I kind of want to back this up because I was watching this and I could not. Okay,
Hursty getting mouthy.
Yeah, he started. Okay, I thought maybe he had started. I thought maybe he got the yellow before he started getting mouthy. Now you can see him getting mouthy there, but I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all.
Right there,
yeah. Oh, such a good pass. Great finish by Hursty there. And you could even hear the commentators saying they wish they had a different angle. I wish there were more angles. This is something that USL needs to be better at. The USL needs to be better at creating more atmosphere with the use of multiple cameras. And maybe another angle from down the line maybe would have shown something a little bit different. But we also saw something in this match that was really, really odd. There was a call. I don't remember what it was, but they went back and changed the call after it had been made. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, they signaled. I had signaled because I remember tweeting about it, and they had made a call, and then the referee they had some sort of discussion, and then changed whatever the outcome of the call was. I was like, that's really odd, especially here, at this level. And then I saw it again in another match Saturday night as well. It was in the Rising match.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
did
there was
hear
that
about
one
that.
too. Yeah, that it was an odd thing to see it happen live, especially without there being it was the foul, no foul on the near side in the second half, where they initially called it as they called it somehow, and then we were setting up for like a free kick going out. Then they changed it and made it into a free kick for Orange County. It was really weird. So
I must have been like mentally checked out at that point a little.
entirely possible.
'Cause I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, there was something was decided, and then they changed it. It was a weird thing, because I remember tweeting about it. I was like, what? That's just so odd to see that sort of reversal in the middle of a match without VAR. So I kind of feel like I'm missing a true 10. Akali has been doing everything but has been doing good but can't do everything. I don't disagree with you at all.
Yeah. And Nicoletto's been kind of MIA.
Mhm.
Whether it's been injury or also when he's played and just sort of, I don't know,
Yeah.
struggling with confidence maybe.
Could be. I don't think it's an injury thing. I think he's been fine. But
Okay.
at least nothing that we've heard of. Obviously Abu Danladi with the hamstrings of Twigs. And then Abdi still dealing with the after effects of the concussion in Sacramento. So we've been expecting Abdi to be back for 2 weeks now. Haven't seen him. So maybe we see him on Sunday. I don't know. Quick pull on the yellow. I mean, it must have been something, something quick. it was something specific that Hurst said that had the ref pull it out.
Yeah.
It was something very specific. So, and I do agree the ref was very one-sided on those yellows, but
yeah, that was a big part of people's comments on social media was frustration with the ref, and lots of yellow for the yellow team, not many for the other team.
Yep, that is absolutely true. But I mean, all of that being said, we come into the match, we have nothing to play for, right? We have home field advantage. All we're doing is continuing to build the single season point record, building upon what we're doing, trying to make sure guys are healthy, all those kinds of things. Orange County comes in, they need at least a point to clinch their playoff spot. They get the draw, they get their playoff spot. And we'll get into this here in a little bit, but the playoffs in the West are completely set now in terms of who's in and who's out. Seeding is not finalized other than us, and we'll certainly get there. But do you think that we accomplished what we wanted to this weekend in terms of a team and then getting a clean sheet on the road?
I think so. I feel like my guess is, they're on the road. We've got some players injured. We're number 1 seed. We've got, home advantage with our final match. I feel like it was just focused on managing the game and, maybe resting some, I don't know, but just getting out of there with everybody healthy and a point being a bonus, honestly.
Just at this point, it clearly wasn't as bad of the call as in the Texas Georgia game. So, at least no one was throwing debris on the field during our match on Saturday. So that is a positive takeaway. I mean, you walk in clean sheet, that's all good. Obviously it helps the defense build a little bit of confidence. Alex has got to be feeling good about that first clean sheet in some time.
A while. Yeah.
And so I think there are certainly some positives to take away. No one got hurt, and there's no knocks coming out of this match. We're not overly concerned about any one individual. So, first clean sheet since the Loudoun match. So,
wow. Yeah.
But that wasn't Alex. So that was Chris. That was Chris. Yeah. So Alex's last clean sheet was Miami on September 6th.
I remember there being one match where we were really close to a clean sheet, and I was really bummed for Alex. I can't remember which match it was, but he
Mhm.
definitely deserved the clean sheet.
That he did. It might have been, was it Indy?
Maybe. Yeah.
That sounds right. 'Cause I
Yeah.
remember really Indy scored.
Near
No,
yeah.
they scored early. No, that was the 28th minute. So I don't know what match. I'll keep thinking about it. Maybe it was as far back as Legion. Oh, Sacramento. Yeah.
Sac, yeah, because
That could be. Yeah.
they got
Yeah,
the
that
one
was
goal.
stoppage time. Yeah. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah,
Thank you,
go,
Justin.
Justin.
Yeah. Oh, Christian, I've seen some fans calling for Shakes to start over Tim Backus. They've got to be delusional, right?
I mean, it seems like now would be a decent time to give Shakes minutes and experience, just
Mhm.
kind of help strengthen our backup keeper. Not because I don't think Alex isn't up for the job, but
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, I don't, especially in the situation where we're in. Again, everything's locked up, right? What we
Mhm.
do, what our specific result on Saturday doesn't matter for us. Now, it does matter for Memphis, but I don't. Chris is not the number one. He won't be the number one. I don't see him, moving above Alex as far as roster depth at all. Give him a start, sure. Again, in a match that realistically means nothing for us other than, again, managing opportunities, managing fitness, managing
Mhm.
that type of stuff. But I mean, we saw Chris. We've seen him about 5 times this year
I
between
can
Open
think of
Cup.
oh, yeah, with Open Cup.
Yeah, between Open Cup and League Play, we've seen Chris a handful of times. And obviously, Open Cup for the most part, you're up against lower for lower level opponents, which isn't to say that we certainly couldn't lose. Not to say we couldn't lose, but Chris was fine in Open Cup. No major gas, nothing like that. But then when you see him play, league play, 2 starts, 4 goals conceded against Battery, and then the clean sheet in his other one. I mean, I don't know. We haven't really seen him enough to gauge where he's at. I certainly think he's talented. Obviously, coming out of Penn State, going to a
Mhm.
big school like that, there's some talent there. You don't get recruited by a Big Ten school and get the accolades he did in college and not have some sort of skill between the sticks.
Mhm. I seem to recall his first match this season was pretty shaky, for lack of a better word.
Mhm.
But I mean, he definitely held his own and got that clean sheet, and it was a great performance. So he's got the potential for sure.
Mhm.
Christian's I think Christian saying fans were calling for him because to start over Tam Buckless because they think he's better. I don't know that he's the better option. I mean, I don't think it's just because Alex is our veteran keeper. I think he's our number one.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. I don't see any reason to, again, give him the opportunity in a match that really doesn't mean anything. And even then, I would love to see Chris back next year,
Mhm.
because I think it's going to get harder and harder for us to keep Alex.
Yeah.
We saw that with Cody, and obviously, Cody got the call from MLS, and moved on. More power to him. Ben Bowery went and moved on. You have,
Mhm.
he
Mhm.
did, pretty, he did pretty well, for a little while there also. But I think if Shakes comes back next year, if for some reason we're not able to keep Alex, Shakes could easily be the number one next year.
Mhm.
But as of right now, I don't see him as the one.
Which is all the more reason why maybe they should be giving him more minutes, so he's getting more experience.
Yep. There you go. Absolutely. Did you have a man of the match on Saturday?
Um, I feel like Akale is the one that really stood out to me. He was the one that was really making things happen. Like I said before, just a workhorse.
Mhm.
100 gave 100% full energy. Um, I think the defense did really well. We got the clean sheet. We were able to really shut down Orange County, but Macaulay is the one that stood out the most for sure.
Yeah, he certainly did well. And you got the pairing of Ryden and Maples at the back. Both of them played well. I thought Gloucester played well. You can't really say anything bad about the performances from anybody. I do wish a few guys had been on target more with their shots.
Yeah.
I love Nanan. Nanan's so much fun to watch. He plays so hard week in and week out.
Yeah.
But
I thought he was going to finally get that goal.
Yeah.
But nope, skied.
Nope, nothing for Nanan, unfortunately.
And there was somebody else that I was feeling like, was really making great plays, but just isn't a shot taker. Maybe it's a Akale.
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, where like he'd take the shot and it just didn't quite have a lot of power behind it.
Yeah. He did have the one. Yeah, there really wasn't anything on it. So,
and Reyes should have scored that one. He just, right to the keeper.
Yeah, that was one I pointed out as well. I was like, man, that's just, he had the opportunity, but he just put it right at him. If he had gone near post, I think he beats him. But not much you can do with that. So, but yeah, 0-0 draw. 52 points, 51 points on the year, 59. Sorry, why am I saying 50? 59 points on the year. United continues to build upon their team record for points in a season. We've set records for wins, points. It's just been all around a great season so far. And that brings us into the final match of the season, final week of the season. Week 34 officially is here. Everybody, I believe, is playing on Saturday. Let me double check this real quick. I think there is one midweek.
Makes sense.
I think there's one midweek this week. Yes, there is one midweek. I was correct. It's Tampa Bay at Hartford tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, Tampa with all of the weather, the hurricanes, is a game behind.
Yep. So one midweek tomorrow. But yeah, everybody else plays on Saturday. No one gets the last week off for the season. But when you look at what's left, speaking of MLS decision day, Atlanta United beat Montreal tonight on penalties. It was overall the Atlanta United subreddit. They dubbed it Joseph Martinez versus Atlanta United. Because he's in Montreal now, which is weird, but yeah, heading into the final weekend of the season, this is your Western Conference standings. Mexico United clear of everybody. First place secured. No issues at all for us coming into the weekend. Nothing that can happen to us no matter what the outcome is on Saturday. However, 2 through 5, these teams are locked into the 2 through 5 spots. Las Vegas, Sacramento, Colorado Springs, and Memphis 901. No matter what happens, these will be teams 2 through 5. Then 6, 7, and 8 are locked into 6, 7, and 8. Oakland Roots, Orange County, Phoenix Rising. So depending upon the outcome of this weekend, you may see Las Vegas drop all the way down to 5th. You could see Memphis jump all the way up to 1st, or to 2nd, I should say. There's a whole lot of moving parts here in the middle and at the bottom of the Western Conference. I mean, of the matches that are going on this weekend, like, who are you looking at, first of all, without taking into account where they're at in the standings or anything like that? Which matches are you watching outside of ours?
The ones that we're potentially going to play: Oakland, Phoenix, and Orange County. Those are the 3 that we're likely going to come up against, right?
It'll be one of those 3. So Orange County taking on Hartford Athletics Saturday night out at Championship Soccer Stadium. You've got Oakland taking on Birmingham Legion, 8 o'clock East. These are Eastern time, by the way. 8 o'clock Eastern. Birmingham Legion. Why?
They're in the struggle bus, right? Legion is not doing so hot. So I feel like it's more likely that we're going to end up playing either Phoenix or Orange County.
Yeah. And then our third team that we're looking at, Rising taking on Lou City. So tough end to the season for these guys here. And Justin, we'll get the switchbacks here in just a second. So yeah, I mean, Rising potentially could jump all the way up to 6th. Oakland could, Orange County could, if Orange County could fall, Oakland could fall. Like it's so obviously you want to keep an eye on those three sides right here, because that's going to determine who we face in the first round on the 3rd of November. I mean, of these three, I honestly want to see Phoenix again.
See, my vote would be for Orange County.
Yeah.
Yeah. At first I was thinking Phoenix, but yeah, I'd rather see Orange County.
Yeah, I get it. And outside of their win this past weekend, Roots have been on a bit of a downswing as well. So a lot of teams trying to get right, trying to do things, to get where they want to be. Orange County, I don't want to see Orange County. Orange County has not lost in some time. So they are a
How
team
did we do against them at home?
Well, let's take a look.
I mean, we have for those at home who have something, drink, because I'm going to say Elevation. I like the teams coming from sea level.
We beat them 2-0.
Okay.
Yep. So, I mean, I think Orange County is the better of those two teams. I really do. Now they themselves are dealing with some injury issues, which we heard about multiple times on the broadcast on Saturday. But I don't know. This is tough. It really is.
So you'd pick Phoenix because you just feel like we're better performing than them.
I think with where we're at now and where Rising is, I think that's the better matchup for us.
Well, let's see. There was a poll on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look for it. Okay, so Andrew had posted a question asking which of the three teams, and Oakland got 9 votes, Orange County got 13 votes, and Phoenix got 24. So the majority of people are in agreement with you, Seth.
Well, smart people, those Facebook folks are. So,
yeah. Really logical, really calm, cool, collected group.
Yeah, exactly. Jacob over in the chat. Jacob, hopefully you and the kids are doing well. Getting called out by Justin already in the chat. So, but yeah, I mean, when you look at potential matchups, like it's interesting to see, because and Justin brought up Colorado. Now, Colorado, obviously, they could finish anywhere from 2nd to 5th as well. So either way, it's gonna, be a minute, before we see anybody. So I don't know. A lot can happen. I mean, obviously in these one-off type, in these, win in advance type situations, unlike, other tournaments where they have, multiple legs and all that kind of stuff. So,
right. Yeah. Do we have any visuals of the USL's playoff structure? Oh, there we go.
That's why, that's kind of what I've been after. The league hasn't put anything out.
Yeah, let's see some sort of like bracket.
Yeah,
I'm a visual person. I want like a bracket visual.
See, look, you click on that, goes to 2023.
Come on, USL.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we'll go look at here.
Well, even the schedule still feels like a mystery.
Yeah. But yeah, I haven't seen anything at all come out about, the bracket or any sort of, graphic from them. Maybe there's something on social media, but I haven't seen anything at all. So
reseeding after every round? That's what Jacob's saying. Oh, Jacob's agrees with me. he says Orange County.
Okay, well, we'll certainly see what happens there. So yeah, we talked about the bottom three there. What about the 2 through 5? Who do you think comes out of that? Who gets, who ends up with the 2? Who ends up with the 5?
I kind of wouldn't be surprised to see Sacramento drop down even further.
Mm-hmm.
They just have since mopping the floor with us. It's like they gave their all and had nothing left in the tank after that, and hasn't been looking so hot. Colorado, I can see moving up. Vegas had been on quite the streak up until who did they lose to?
Vegas lost to Oakland.
Oakland. Okay.
That was a heck of a match. It was 3-1 at one point.
And between what was the final score?
3-2.
3-2. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they scored. Vegas scored late in that one.
So, I mean, it's such a toss-up, but I wouldn't be surprised to see either Vegas keep their spot or Colorado take over that spot. I don't think Memphis will beat us at home. I don't think they'll take the number 2 spot.
Okay. Yeah, so look at what's left. I mean, Memphis has us, Colorado's got Sacramento. So, a draw there really doesn't help either of them. And then Vegas has North Carolina. Of the final weekend matchups, that's probably the easiest one.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So either the winner of the Sac Colorado game or Vegas keeps their spot.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see Las Vegas losing to North Carolina. I just don't. Vegas has been, we've talked about them. Vegas has been good this year. They've been very, very good. I think Vegas holds on to the 2. I do think Republic lose to Colorado, which means it's going to come down to Memphis. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see us losing to Memphis at home. So
last home match, blackout night, fireworks at the end of the show. Like,
yeah,
the squad has every reason to put out a good performance with getting momentum going into the playoffs.
Let's see the tiebreaker here between Sacramento and Memphis. So Sacramento takes a win there, and then in the return match, what happened in the return? A draw. So Sacramento would have the tiebreaker over Memphis if they finished level on points. So a draw puts Memphis in 5th. A win for us keeps us first, obviously. A win for Memphis puts them over Sac. Sac drops to 5. Without a win and a Memphis win, Sacramento drops to 5. So, yeah. Yeah, so
the Western Conference darlings.
That they were sitting right there at the top all season long, and then hit that cold streak, and it certainly does play games, with your head and your confidence, and there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to watch on Saturday night. I will actually be at the game Saturday night. Thankfully, I'll be there for the regular season finale. Yeah, so I've told the story before, but during the initial season, during our inaugural season, the night that we clinched, we had screens in the media box and in the press box. I had 2 different screens going. People had their phones up. We're watching all the different games, trying to figure out what was going to happen and who was going to clinch and all this kind of stuff. And, it was phenomenal. It really was. I'm glad we're not in that situation now.
I was going to say, it feels real mighty nice to not be down to the very last match, wondering if we're going to make it in or not.
That it does. But yeah, certainly
leaving our fate up to other teams.
Absolutely. But yeah, we will certainly be watching on Saturday to ensure that we know who we're going to face on the 3rd. But looking ahead over to the Eastern Conference, there's still things to be decided in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
So Indy is in, right? That's the last thing that we know. Rhode Island is in with a win. Tampa Bay, somehow they're still in it. They need at least,
with the game in hand.
they do have the game in hand, so they need, I'm gonna say they need at least 2 points because Hartford's got a match in hand as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, if Tampa Bay beats Hartford tomorrow, and we'll double check this because it should be in the race of the playoffs here. We'll scroll down, pardon the scroll. So what does Tampa Bay? So Rhode Island needs 1 point. Okay. Or if Hartford fails to take a victory at Tampa. Tampa needs 3 points. So yeah, a win tomorrow night and they're in. So that which will most likely eliminate Hartford if they lose. It would be pretty dang close. Yeah.
I wouldn't be sad to see Hartford pull it off.
No, I wouldn't either.
Give
But-
Tampa a break from playoffs.
Yeah, it's crazy just how much is left undecided. I mean, Legion are essentially out. I mean, look at this.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
Yeah. I mean, Legion have a shot. I don't know how much of a shot that is, but
I think it bodes well for Oakland.
wait a minute. Well, maybe not. So mathematically they're not eliminated, but it's like this. So,
A lot
Yeah, I
of
think
things have to fall into place for them.
I think you can count out Legion, count out Loudon. Hartford need a win. They're at least a positive result against Tampa to have a shot on Saturday.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot to be decided left in the East.
Those are going to be some fun matches to see for sure.
It will be. That is absolutely certain. And the only reason that Rhode Island is not marked as clinched is because of that match in hand by Hartford. That's the only reason.
Mm.
If not for that, Rhode Island would be in. So, yeah, I just don't know what to make in the East. That will definitely be something to watch this weekend. I think realistically, you're looking at, Hartford, North Carolina, and Riverhounds all fighting for that last spot.
I feel like it's a perfect representation of what we've been saying all season long, consistently inconsistent team performances. Where it's left
Yep.
everybody, it's a toss up.
Yep. Yeah, and it's just crazy to see, the defensive issues that Tampa's been having over the past several weeks. Then you look at what's happened to Legion. Like, Legion have just bottomed out. They really have, which is surprising because of how good that team has been in the past and how
Mhm.
good they were earlier this season. And Rowdy's used to seeing the Rowdies up closer to the top of the table as well. So,
Yep.
yep.
And they usually have a golden boot contender on their
Mhm.
squad.
That they do,
Or
and
they might
don't-
still. Is Jennings
Um,
still?
I don't think so.
I think he's still in contention.
Let's see. And see, this is the thing too. Normally the league has record stuff. Well, Marcanic. No one's close to Marcanic. No one close
It's
at
got to
all.
be that they just don't have somebody willing to put in the work, the manpower to do this.
Well, it's all Nicholas Murray. That's all it is.
Yeah, I think he can.
So,
He can only do so much.
but yeah, I mean, look at this. You got Manuel Arteaga 16 goals, Cal Jennings with 13, and
Okay.
they're where they're at, which is insane to me. So I don't know. Let's look at this. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, he's got 11 goal lead. So, but yeah, I mean, I think there's still a thing to be said for tracking these things and hyping it up and
Yeah.
Christian. I've said the same thing. I've had conversation with Nick Murray about them hiring somebody to help him.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't, but yeah, Nick Murray does it all, which, again, East Coast bias. So, I do think they need a West Coast correspondent. So
I agree.
Maybe if we
I
all
mean,
pitch it enough.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and John with the USL Tactics, he it's a gift what he gives as far as all of the coverage and breakdowns that he does.
Mhm,
Um, his preference is Sac, right? Like
mhm. He's worked
his
for both Sac and
bias.
Tampa. Yeah.
That's right, Tampa too.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I mean, and I know a lot of his stuff is based off mathematical models and all that kind of stuff, but there's clear. I mean, I hate that there's clear bias
Mhm.
um in some of the stuff, but I mean, John does a really good job. He really does, and this is why the league depends so much on lower league media, from
Yep.
independent media, to talk about the league, talk about the matches, all this kind of stuff, which is why we've been doing what we've been doing for the past 5 years.
Mhm.
Well, 4 years here on this show. Um, for 5 years, 5 years, Jesus. That's why we do what we do, and if not for us, there's a lot of things that probably wouldn't get out about these clubs. So, um,
They used to have a gal who they employed that would travel around, oh, what was her name? Chelsea, maybe?
maybe
I
that
mean,
didn't
that
last
was
long
nice.
though.
It did not lie. Maybe 1 season, maybe
Yeah.
2 seasons tops.
Yeah, because they were doing a video series.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were doing that, and then she would talk to folks, and yeah, that lasted all of like 1 season, I think. I don't know why, but um, a lot of places in the index, yeah, absolutely,
Mhm.
that is entirely true. League is growing so much, I think they absolutely should have more personal. I agree. I absolutely agree with that. Um, I don't know what.
I don't
I don't know
remember
what the
her
plan is.
eyebrows, Josh.
Yeah. They did the podcast. That's right. They did have that podcast. It was because she interviewed Dev. I remember she
Yeah,
interviewed Dev.
and she'd
Yes,
go to all the different matches and highlight different teams and supporters
yeah.
groups, and
Was it Kelsey?
Kelsey, yeah, Chelsea,
I don't
Kelsey,
know.
uh,
Something. I don't
something along
remember.
there.
I'm sure if we went back far enough in the USL video archives, we can find it. Um, but yeah, no, even stuff like the USL show. You've got, yes, Phil Baki's on there, but Phil is very much, a homer. And Kelsey Steele, that's right.
There
That's
you
the one.
go, Christian.
Okay. But no, like Phil Baki's such a homer. Like he really is. Like you cannot get Phil to say anything positive about New Mexico or any other Western Conference team. You
Yeah,
can't. And the vast majority of those guys, they don't watch Western Conference soccer. Um, so I don't know. I don't know, but
yeah,
I do agree the league needs to grow the media department.
we can only hope.
Yep. Absolutely. More teams coming. Yeah. Well, yeah, there's
Yep,
already a plan
more
for like
teams
the next
coming.
like 2 or 3 years for more and more teams to be joining the league. So, you know, you're gonna need you're gonna need additional people with eyeballs on the league, eyeballs, especially on the Western Conference. Um, was he?
I
I stopped listening to USL show.
I hadn't been, and I actually did listen to their show last week and saw that he joined late, and it was like, "Whoa, long time no see."
Mhm,
Um, but yeah, I stopped listening too because it felt like it's very East Coast heavy.
mhm.
Um, yeah, they need at least maybe they need more representation of Western Conference.
I absolutely agree with that 100%. You know what? We essentially cover the Western Conference, so maybe we just call ourselves USL West. I don't know. Well, maybe we go through another rebrand and
Yeah, there you
just
go.
expand what we're doing. So, um, we have CBS deals, Jägermeister deals, Bellevue deals. I don't know where all that money is going. That's a good question. Now, to be fair, the league does not put out details of those contracts. We do know that the media rights deal with ESPN is low 7. low seven figures. We do know that much. But beyond that, we don't know about the deals with, with CBS, with Jaeger. I mean, I can't imagine Jägermeister's, pouring in, millions of dollars to be, the sponsor of the Jägermeister Cup. So they do cover League One. I will give them that. But again, it's still very, very much East Coast. So you'll hear them talk a lot about Greenville and Tormenta and and some and the more of the East Coast clubs as well. So, but no, that it is true. Very, very few people cover League One. We do talk about League One from time to time, but there's no club terribly close in proximity. Like if we had a League One club, obviously we'd be all over it and we'd certainly pay more attention to it, but we don't. So, alrighty. So last little segment of the show this weekend, Memphis 901 FC comes to the Lab for regular season finale, blackout night. A lot of things to look forward to. I know we're already, looking forward to playoffs. I'm trying to see how many tickets we can get Saturday night from the radio station. I haven't gotten an answer yet. I know we did 10 to the last 10 pairs to the last home match. I'm hoping Joe will equal that here for blackout night, and then obviously for the playoffs, I hope we can do something as well. What's this?
Yeah, they're launching a shirt, maybe, or I don't think it was a kit, but maybe just a special blackout.
Yeah, because when David We See Carl was on, he did tell us there was one more kit coming, and we got the Kick Out Cancer Night
pink
kit.
Yeah.
So I agree. I don't think it's a kit. I think it's a shirt. So be on the lookout for that. Probably hit their social medias. My guess is 10 a.m. because they like 10 a.m.
They do like their 10 a.m.
That they do. So yeah, certainly watch our social medias for that. All the money goes to shop the sponsors, not to be bettering the broadcaster coverage. Now I will say a lot of the coverage around the league is done by Vista Worldwide in Florida. Us and a handful of other clubs, it's local. So that's where a lot of it goes. And even on the call last night, I don't know who the broadcasters were on the call last night, but one guy certainly sounded like he was on the phone.
You mean on Saturday?
On Saturday.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoever. I didn't catch the names at the beginning.
Well, at first I thought it was maybe Devin. And I thought, is he calling in on the phone? Like, are they that hard pressed to find people to comment on the match? Like, hey, can you call in? But yeah, there was definitely a audio difference between the two.
Yeah, there was. It was odd. It sounded strange. And I don't know if it was. I mean, I'll see if I can pull up and listen to it while we're talking. But yeah, it's a lot of the broadcasts themselves comes down to a local crew in terms of like who's actually manning the cameras. It's not the league doing it. It's not ESPN. It's a local production that's broadcast. That's sent the production. The video feed is sent to Florida, where they then call the matches. So I don't know. That's why we're very, very fortunate to have as much media coverage as we do between 1017 and KOAT and Estrella and all of that.
And having the Spanish broadcast and the English broadcast. Yep.
Yeah. And yes, the
Zach's broadcast has always been so bad.
Yeah, that's what we were
always.
Yeah, it was bad.
I think they're my least favorite.
Duke Keith. Can't stand him. I cannot stand Duke Keith from El Paso. I can't do it. I turn on our guys every.
Is he the one with like the baseball voice?
Yes.
Commentator.
So,
like,
yeah, Duke was a local guy here for many, many years. But yeah,
the girl that they had on last year, she was rough in El Paso.
Yeah, she was. She was bad. Yeah, that was awful. I know some people will say that she's better than Heather. No, I would disagree with that.
Heather's she's improved with each time that she's she's been on the broadcast. I feel like she's kind of getting more accustomed to it.
Yeah. Yeah, she certainly has. The first couple matches that Coach Heather had done were very rough, but she did improve, and her matches this year were better. So
hmm I always tune into the radio though. I like listening to Andy and Adam. So I'll just mute the TV and then listen to them.
yeah, I don't blame you one bit, and I always oh good Lord, you rather listen to it, Lexi? Justin, I'm kicking you out of the stream, buddy. I'm kicking you out. Sorry, can't do it. Cannot do that.
You lost me there, Justin.
Yeah. All right. So moving on. Again. Yeah, like we started before we got sidetracked there. Final match of the home season. Final match of the regular season. Blackout night. Memphis 901. Mentioned earlier, they still have the possibility to finish as high as second or as low as fifth. What do we expect from Coach Quill's team sheet on Saturday?
I'm hoping that we see a squad that is going to be what to expect in the playoffs. To give them a chance to prepare, get ready. So I'm going to be real curious to see what the starting lineup is for this Saturday.
It was Mike Watts and Ricky Lopez on the call.
Oh,
yeah.
It did not sound like Mike. He must have been the one on the phone.
Yeah. His audio sounded off. That was Mike. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. I do think we see, a little bit of rotation. I think you see Bruce over Hursty because Hurst just played, significant minutes. If Abdi is healthy, I think you see him come in and get maybe 30 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised if Jackson gets another run. Give the guys who, give Sergio and Marco, and I think you see significant change. I think maybe you start Marlon, start Zico, and then sub them out. Bring in, Marco and Sergio and those guys, and, give everyone at least, try to give as many guys as you can at least 30 minutes of run. Get them out there. I don't think we play for a win. I don't think we play to lose. I think we just go out there and play, and whatever happens, happens. Obviously you don't play to lose, but I don't see us going out there, full A squad, which hurts me to say, because I would love to see us win the finale. I would love to, again, pick up a little bit of momentum, carry it into the playoffs. But I don't know, maybe I'm overreaching. Maybe I'm expecting too much.
Yeah, I don't think I agree with you. I feel like it's our last home match. They want butts and seats. They want tickets sold. They want momentum going into the playoffs, fireworks, blackout night. I think, and Quill doesn't like losing. He doesn't like drawing. He wants to win. He wants goals,
especially at home.
And he talks all the time about how, it's to do it for the fans. He wants there to be a performance for the fans. So I have big expectations. As a season ticket holder, I want a good show.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. As a fan, I absolutely want to see us go for it. I want to see that 18. But as media, trying to think about it from a tactical standpoint, trying to think about it logically, I don't. I have a hard time justifying from a media standpoint, saying yes, it's going to go, all out, try to, throw everything against the wall, all that. I can't. I have a hard time justifying it. But as a fan, I absolutely want to see it. So
I'm curious, Justin, have the tailgates this year not been stellar? I don't know. I think I made it to the Meow Wolf tailgate because I wanted to color a flag again, and I didn't get there in time. They ran out of flags. That one though. That match is always pretty exciting and bumping. So of course the tailgate was a lot of fun. But I didn't make it to, I don't think, any other tailgates.
I'm usually there early enough so I could go, but I just go up in the press box and get settled in, get my computer set up, get ready to go, all that kind of stuff. So, because that's been my MO since I started. I get to the stadium as early as I can. I get there, I get set up. I talk to Ron and David and Pete and like there's a lot of things that I've picked up being in the press box and talking to different people that I've never mentioned anywhere.
That makes sense. Yeah. I think I'd rather be in the press box, listening in, seeing what the 411 is. Whenever I go to help, when we're starting to plan the United in Our Abilities clinic, it's up in the office area, and it's always kind of like, anything good on the desks?
Yeah.
Any teasers? But they're really good about putting everything away.
Yeah. I've been in there before, back when the club was first doing the stadium canvassing. I volunteered. I was up there in the conference room. I was like, what can I see? But no, like I get there and it's a good chance for me to, to catch up with some folks and talk to them. And yes, I get tidbits of information, some of which I pass along, most of which I don't, because, it's for us as media, it's building that relationship with the club. That's why we have the ability to bring on David and players and things like that. But it's interesting. It's really interesting that the tailgates haven't been it this year. So I mean, when you looking at Saturday, Memphis, obviously my guess is they're going to go for it. You're probably going to see the best of this Memphis team. They are still absolutely fighting, what happens on Saturday? What's your prediction?
Well, Memphis is pretty big on the press, right? They're a team that tries to catch the other squad off guard and with that high press. So I think it's going to come down again to our defense being able to hold the line. Gosh, I hope we score some goals. We've been in a goal drought, and I'd really like to see lots and lots of black smoke. I want it to be blackout night, real dark, real smoky, a la Detroit. I'm gonna be super optimistic and say 3-1.
3-1. All right, perfect.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the optimism. I'm optimistic as well. I don't think 3-1 is the answer though. I do think we get the win. I do think we extend our record to 62 points. I do think we pick up that 19th regular season win. I'm going to say 2-0.
2-0. Oh, you're going for the clean sheet.
I'm going for the clean sheet. I think we do it. I think, I think we do it. I think Quill is going to have these guys ready to go as much as he wants to, enforce the lab, make the lab a fortress. These guys want that. They don't like losing at home. You mentioned your coach doesn't like to lose. He doesn't like to draw. He sure as heck doesn't like to do it at home.
Yeah.
They're going to want to close out the season on a high note and be ready for the playoffs. So yeah, I'm going to say 2-0 United over Memphis. I think Memphis gets stuck with that 5, unfortunately for them. But I think that's going to be it. A couple interesting comments over here in the chat real quick before we get out of here. A couple that United has been a part of and much larger, but people can also plan for them. And then Josh goes back to Curse having a slump year 2, probably. Now, I can tell you I've heard things, but I will not talk about them on air. So
you're teasing with the Cheeseman knowledge there, Seth.
yeah, no, it's not club related. It is like an interpersonal thing. So
right,
I'm not gonna discuss that on air. But
so there was a fan on Facebook that did reach out to the group and say, hey, like, are we going to tailgate? What's the plan?
Mhm.
I think people are looking to party. Somebody even commented, a guy named Sean, it's called Blackout Night because I'm blacking out that night. Curse Shotsky. So hopefully it's a party atmosphere. Hopefully everybody has a great night. Get to see some fireworks and lots of black smoke.
Yep, let's certainly hope for that and hope for all the best for the guys, and that we don't actually have any sort of injuries or negative come out of Saturday evening. So, I think that's going to just about do it for us. Christine, do you have any final closing thoughts?
No.
No.
Yeah, this was another fun, thanks for having me again, and
Yeah.
looking forward to next week where we can talk about how many goals they scored and how they were shooting from the outside and passes were clicking and no silly yellow
Yes.
cards. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. I can't wait. I'm absolutely. You've already got me stoked for next week's show. I'm ready. Let's do it right now. Okay. But no, next week could be great because next week we will have our playoff pick'em. We'll
Yeah.
We'll
Ooh.
start our playoff pick'em next week. We will also look back at our we'll probably also, if we have the time, we'll look back at our season predictions and see just how right and wrong we were. We've looked at them a couple of times over the past month and a half or so, kind of looking back, but we'll go through once everything's settled, and compare our notes and see where everything was at. But yeah, a lot to look forward to. Regular season finale, blackout night. That is at 7. 7.
6, I think.
Let me double check.
Yeah, better double check that.
7. It's a 7 o'clock.
Oh, it's 7 on
Saturday. Yeah.
Saturday night? Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I
7
was
o'clock.
thinking of the playoff match. Never mind.
Yeah. No
The
worries.
playoff will be Sunday at 6.
Yep. It's November 3rd at 6. Yes. And Jacob did pin that in our chat today.
Yeah, he did do that.
the club can't pin it anywhere for whatever reason, apparently. So Jacob pinned it in our group chat.
Yeah, he gave me a good chuckle when he did that.
Yeah, that he did. So yeah, USL Championship says 9 o'clock Eastern, so 7 o'clock Mountain Time kickoff on Saturday for Blackout Night. So that's going to do it for us. You've heard our predictions. You heard us talk about Orange County and New Mexico United last weekend. We've talked about what's left to settle in both the East and the Western conferences. We kind of got to jump ahead to who we might play in the playoffs, but we'll know all of that late Saturday night. For Christina, thank you so much for being here again. Do appreciate you as always. For Jacob, for Earl, for Harry, who I thought was hoping might pop in tonight and say hello. But Jacob and Earl, hopefully you guys are both well. Hopefully the families are well. Earl, I hope you're safe and stuff. That your internet's back intact, and Jacob and everyone, hope you guys, anyone that's dealing with flooding, by the way, if you have, I'm sure there are relief efforts out there. If you're dealing with flooding issues, please reach out and make sure you get help. Find the resources that are available to you. We certainly want to see everyone back at the lab. So for all of us, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Somos Mas. And until next time, Somos Unidos.